Have you ever watched a Stephen Chow movie and marveled at the incredible kung fu, wondering where he got his inspiration? Well, the story behind it is more astonishing than any of his films. It involves a legendary figure, a man who was not only a martial arts master but also a powerful triad godfather. This is the story of Lau Kar-Loon's father, Lau Kem. Lau Kem was a direct disciple of Lam Sai Wing, who himself was a student of the legendary Wang Fihung. That's right, the Wang Fahung. This places Lau Kem directly in the lineage of one of the most revered martial arts traditions in history. He was a true master of Hung Ga Kuan, a powerful and intricate style of kung fu. He didn't just practice it, embodiet italiano. His skill was so renowned that he became a highly respected figure in the martial arts community of Hong Kong. But his influence didn't stop there. In the complex world of old Hong Kong, martial arts schools and the underworld were often intertwined. A master's reputation wasn't just about skill, it was about power and respect. Lau Kem commanded both. His authority was so great that he was recognized as a godfather figure within certain triad circles, a man whose word was law and whose fist was justice. He wasn't a gangster in the typical sense. He was a guardian, a respected elder whose martial prowess protected his community. So how does this connect to Stephen Chow? The link is Lau Kem's son, the legendary director and action choreographer, Lau Kar-Loon. Lau Kar-Loon grew up steeped in this world of authentic martial arts. He learned Hung Ga directly from his father, inheriting not just the techniques, but the spirit and philosophy of the art form. When he entered the film industry, he brought this authenticity with him, revolutionizing kung fu cinema. Before Lau Kar-Loon, many movie fight scenes were more like theatrical dances. He changed all that. He insisted on real techniques, real power, and real principles. His choreography was a reflection of his father's teachings, grounded, powerful, and deeply rooted in tradition. He directed iconic films like The 36th Chamber of Shaolin, setting a new standard for martial arts on screen. Now, let's bring it to Stephen Chow. Stephen Chow has always been a massive fan of martial arts, particularly the classic kung fu films of the 70s. He idolized Bruce Lee, of course, but he also deeply admired the work of directors like Lau Kar-Loon. When Chow was preparing for his masterpiece, Kung Fu Hustle, he knew he needed someone who understood the soul of kung fu. Who did he turn to? The one and only Lau Kar-Loon. Initially, Lau Kar-Loon was hired as the action choreographer for Kung Fu Hustle. This was a meeting of giants, the king of comedy and the master of kung fu cinema. Imagine the set: Stephen Chow, with his wild, imaginative ideas, and Lau Kar-Loon, the purist, dedicated to preserving the authenticity of his family's art. Their collaboration was meant to be epic. In Kung Fu Hustle, you can see the influence of this lineage everywhere. The three masters living in the pigsty alley, they, coolie, the tailor, and the baker all practice authentic Hung Ja techniques. The tailor's iron fist and the baker's 8-trigram staff are direct nods to the styles Lau Kar-Loon and his father, Lau Kem, championed. The very essence of the film's martial arts pays homage to this golden era of kung fu that Lau Kem represented. However, the collaboration between Chow and Lau was famously short-lived. They had creative differences. Stephen Chow, the visionary director, had a very specific, often fantastical, vision for his action sequences. He wanted to blend traditional kung fu with CGI and exaggerated, cartoonish physics. Lau Kar-Loon, on the other hand, was a traditionalist. He believed in showing real, unadulterated kung fu. For him, the integrity of the movements was paramount. He reportedly felt that Chow's CGI-heavy approach undermined the authenticity he had spent his entire life upholding. Their visions clashed. Lau wanted to film a classic duel between the masters, showcasing their raw skill. Chow envisioned something more stylized, more over the top. In the end, they parted ways respectfully. The action choreography was taken over by another legend, Yuan Whooping, who was perhaps more accustomed to blending traditional arts with fantastical elements. As seen in The Matrix and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But even after Lau Kar-Loon left the project, his spirit remained. The foundations he laid are still visible in the final film. The early fight scenes, especially those involving the three masters, bear the unmistakable stamp of Lau Kowloon's authentic choreography. He set the tone. He brought the spirit of his father, Lau Kem, onto the set of Kung Fu Hustle. While Lau Kem never directly taught Stephen Chow, his legacy did, through his son, Lau Kowloon. The teachings of a triad godfather and Hung-Ja grandmaster became a crucial, foundational element of one of the greatest comedy kung fu films ever made. It's a fascinating chain of influence, from the legendary Wong Fei-hung to the respected master and godfather, Lau Kem, to the revolutionary director Lau Kowloon, and finally, into the creative whirlwind of Stephen Chow. This story shows us that the world of kung fu cinema is deeper and more connected than we often realize. It's a world built on family, tradition, and a lineage of respect passed down from master to student. Lau Kem was more than just a fighter. He was a pillar of a bygone era, a guardian of a powerful art form. His influence, though unseen by most, is felt in the powerful stances, the swift strikes, and the unyielding spirit of the heroes on screen. The next time you watch Kung Fu Hustle and see the tailor unleash his iron fist, remember the incredible story behind it. You're not just watching a movie, you are witnessing the legacy of a triad godfather who taught Stephen Chow the true meaning of Kung Fu without ever meeting him. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the hidden history of Hong Kong cinema, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories you won't find anywhere else. Let me know in the comments which Kung Fu legend you'd like to hear about next. See you in the next video. In the past, many Teochew people from eastern Guangdong migrated to Hong Kong in search of a better life. However, they were often oppressed and bullied by local gangs in Hong Kong. To protect themselves and support their fellow newcomers, they banded together and formed their own organization. Over time, this group grew into a new force in the underworld, engaging in activities similar to Hong Kong's native gangs of that era. As their power expanded, the British colonial authorities in Hong Kong began to crack down on them. Some of the leaders of the Sun Yee On organization decided to dissolve the group and shift toward legal activities. Around this time, Heung Chin, a former major in the National Revolutionary Army, was sent to Hong Kong on an intelligence mission by Dalia's Bureau of Investigation and Statistics. He had been operating undercover within the original Yi'an Society and held one of its 4 key leadership positions. When he realized the group was about to disband, Heung Chin worried about what would happen to the remaining brothers. He decided to reorganize the group, founding Sun Yee On and leading a core faction to continue its activities. Unexpectedly, the organization flourished, growing rapidly like willows, taking root into a forest because of its ties to the triads. Sun Yee On was later classified as an illegal organization. In 1953, the British colonial government accused Heung Chin of involvement with the triads and other banned political groups. He was deported from Hong Kong to Taiwan. After his departure, his sons gradually took over the organization's operations. More than 70 years later, Sun Yee On still follows a hereditary leadership model, with the Huang family holding supreme authority. Sun Yee On's influence spreads throughout Hong Kong, from Hong Kong Island and Kowloon to the new territories and nearby islands. Beyond Hong Kong, they also operate in Western Europe, the United States, Canada, Australia, and Southeast Asia, making them a truly international syndicate. In Hong Kong, Sun Yee On invests in legitimate industries such as restaurants, hotels, entertainment venues, and transportation companies, earning significant revenue. However, their core activities remain illegal. Extortion, protection rackets, drug trafficking, loan sharking, prostitution, illegal gambling, and smuggling. They also run legitimate businesses, film production companies, investment firms, and restaurants to launder money and improve their public image. The organization's structure is strict and hierarchical. It includes the 5 tigers and the 10 elites. Each district has a seat holder, who acts as the local leader, and a bookholder, who manages finances. Today's story focuses on the head of the 5 tigers of Sun Yee, on a true tiger of the Hong Kong underworld. He was both a warrior and a strategist, bringing corporate-style management into gang operations. He once negotiated face-to-face with the infamous drug lord Kanessa, helping Sun Yee On secure massive profits and expand its power. He even slapped Hong Kong pop diva Anita Mui during a nightclub incident, only for her to later become one of his closest By a twist of fate, he rose to become a district leader So Kwan, helping the organization stabilize internal unrest. At the peak of his power, he died in a foreign land. His name was Wang Zun, the Tiger of East Tim Sho Sui. Wang Zun was born in 1956 in Yuen Long, Hong Kong. As Wang Sun, Yuen Long was known for its fishing and rice farming. His parents were fishermen, and the family lived modestly. Wang left school after 4th grade to support his family. By the late 1960s, he worked as a dock laborer. He was sharp, charismatic, and physically strong. Within a year, he became the leader of the dock workers. Historically, docks were breeding grounds for gangs. Workers formed groups to support each other, eventually evolving into syndicates. In Wang's time, many gangs operated openly in the ports. Joining one offered protection and power. Wang eventually joined the Kowloon Walled Triad and apprenticed under a local elder known as Big Green. Despite his youth, Wang was a fierce fighter, often leading charges into gang clashes with his signature Bagua axe, earning the nickname Axe Sune. By his early 20s, he commanded over 100 followers and dominated the Tuen Mun area. His rise coincided with that of another Xing Wo figure, Brother Xing. Both commanded hundreds of men, and rivalry between them culminated in the 1982 leadership election, held every 2 years. Xing's faction was stronger, and Wang lost. Furious, he considered switching allegiance. Both the 14K and Sun Yee On sought to recruit him. Kai Po, then one of Sun Yee On's tigers, wanted to transition into business and was looking for a successor. He offered Wang the highest transfer fee in underworld history. After joining Sun Yee On, Wang swiftly seized Tuen Mun and Taipo from Kowloon Walled, helping Sun Yee On become one of Hong Kong's big 3 syndicates. Alongside 14K and Kowloon Walled, Wang expanded smuggling operations while training in Muay Thai under Sun Yee On's chief instructor, Tu Longa. He became nearly unbeatable in combat and quickly rose through the ranks. His leadership and strategic skills contributed greatly to Sun Yee On's dominance in the late 1980s and 1990s. One of his greatest achievements was negotiating in the Golden Triangle with Kanessa, turning a dangerous situation into an alliance and securing an exclusive drug supply contract. Worth huge profits, in 1987, a major undercover sting led to the arrest of more than 10 Sun Yee On leaders, including the Dragon Head, Hunghua Yim. This created a power vacuum. Tu Lung, seeing an opportunity, tried to overthrow the Huang family. Many of his disciples held powerful positions, including Wang Sun, To Lin Chun, and Chun Chi-ming. The Huang family countered by appointing Wang as acting leader, driving a wedge between him and his mentor. Caught between loyalty and duty, Wang skillfully navigated the conflict. Ultimately, Tu Lung was defeated but spared thanks to Wang's intervention. In 1990, Wang was involved in a notorious bar altercation with pop star Anita Mui and the band Grasshopper, which cemented his fearsome reputation. Later, Wang and Anita became close friends, and his sworn brother Chan Yu Hung even avenged her by killing a 14K leader who had slapped her though. This triggered a tragic cycle of revenge. By the early 1990s, Wang's rivalries culminated in the Battle of the Century, a massive gang face-off involving over 1,000 men. Political figures had to step in to defuse the situation. In 1992, Wang was wanted for multiple charges and fled to Thailand, entrusting his young daughter Wang Yi-man to Hyung for protection. On a night in mid-October 1995, while driving a Mercedes-Benz Aventus Litro in Pattaya, he was killed in a high-speed crash at the age of 39. His death sparked rumors of foul play, though nothing was ever proven. In 2014, actor Philip Ng, who portrayed Bruce Lee, married Wang Yi-man in Bali. They live happily together, a bittersweet ending to the legendary life of Wang's